knew you were still dancing. Good afternoon, good
Sorry
evening,
about
good
that.
morning to you. Whether or not you're tuning in the morning, afternoon. Oh my gosh, that was a lot of words. I'm sorry, everybody. Hi, everyone. Welcome to our show today. I'm just overly excited, more excited than usual, because some of my bestie teacher friends are on with us today. But before
you.
I bring them on, I want to bring on our special friend again, who I love to have. Oh, confetti. You already know he's coming, right? Because of the confetti. All right, here we
You can
go.
tell.
Hey, how are you?
Hey, Billy,
Good to
how are
see
you?
you. Good to be back. I'm telling you, Ricardo, I'm right there with you with the music. I'm going to put that on my phone. So every time I enter a room, it automatically plays and people can start bobbing their head up and down. Again, it's the end of the year and we're here together. And I left last week's show and it was neat going back to the school board and being able to talk about what we just experienced. Because, one of the things that I used to always tell my students in the classroom is that if we don't tell our stories, then other people will tell our stories for us. And so, to be at the end of this school year, to be so united and strong as a union, but to not lose focus on our why for students, why we do what we do and the hours and time that we put in on it, and to just really remind us that we all have each other's backs. Your show last week really just really impacted me as a leader. And so I want to tell you thank you for that. And I know a lot of people went and watched it afterwards. And I am really excited for tonight's show because this week we get to see amazing teachers tell their stories from different grade levels. And I know it's going to be just as great. So on behalf of all our members, again, I want to thank you. You both just keep doing more and more. So thank you. Let's bring them in.
Let's bring them in. I'm ready.
These are our stars. These are our stars.
Here come all the shooting stars.
Here they come. Oh my god. Okay, here they are, everybody. We are missing one, Miss Lovely Ann Miller. She couldn't join us today, but she is in our thoughts right now, so she is not here. But we're going to let our friends here introduce themselves really quickly. We have Shawna. Go for it.
I'm Shawna Adam. I teach TK.
And Kimberly.
I'm Kimberly Swift. I'm a teacher on special assignment.
And Claudia.
I'm Claudia Diaz, teacher at the best school in the universe, Nelson Elementary.
We're not going to fight together in this show, okay? We're all from the different schools.
Rock, paper, scissors. Rock, paper, scissors. Come on.
All right, welcome everybody. We are in Year-End Reflections episode 2. We only have one more show left after this for this school year. I can't even believe it. If you don't know us, my name is Teresa Castro.
And I am Ricardo Recinos.
And we are both
right today.
I know. Can you do that one more time? Sorry. One more time.
No, it's not happening again.
I tried, everybody. All right. So we are both technology TOSAs from Hacienda La Puente Unified, and we can't continue without thanking those who make this happen for us. Hacienda La Puente Teachers Association. Thank you. CTA, and of course, our instructional leadership course. So thank you. So we'll go ahead and we're going to go to the next slide, and we're going to let our friends tell us a little bit more about their journey. And I think Billy wants to say something.
Go ahead, Billy.
And you know what? I'm gonna get out of your way because the stars of the show have arrived, literally with stars falling all over the screen. And so I just want to thank Claudia, Kimberly, Shawna for coming and doing this, because not only are you leaders in our union, but leaders in our district. And I know that our community of parents and HLPTA members will enjoy hearing you speak tonight. I appreciate everybody here showing up in your black. We are HLPTA strong, and we will remain focused on the students and an HLP family. I will be listening as I go in and out of a couple more meetings, and I'll see you in the chat room. Thanks again, everybody.
Thank you so much, President
Billy.
Billy Joe Wright. Thank you so much. All right, so here are our celebrities for today. I knew it. I love them so much. So I'm going to go ahead and call on you and just tell us a little bit. Tell us how long you've been teaching. Any other quick information you want to give us before we go on into our questions. So our guest teacher, Ann Miller, is not here today. She's a wonderful TK teacher who did so much during distance learning, and hopefully we have a chance to touch base with her because she's done so much. And of course, we have here our wonderful. She's back, Shawna Adam. Go ahead.
Enjoy.
We're doing open house tonight, and I start in a half hour. So our principal is announcing. So I couldn't hear what you said. It's probably
No
all
problem.
wonderful, but
Tell us how long you've been teaching, your educational journey. Very briefly, tell us a little bit about how long you've been in education.
I think I've been teaching 24 years.
Wow.
So, yep, and I've been teaching TK since our district started TK. I sat on the committee that formed the TK program and have been very much invested in transitional kindergarten.
Our heart is, we have a special place. TK has a special place right here for me and Ricardo. Okay, thank you so much. I'm Claudia. How about you?
I've been with the district for 25 years.
Ooh.
I was at Wing Lane for 20 years and have been at Nelson for 5 years. I've taught first, third, fourth, fifth, and now this is my first year teaching sixth grade. And I love it. I taught math and science this year.
Nice.
Absolutely. All right, Kimberly, how about you?
So I guess I'm the baby on the block because this is only my 20th year. And right, only. And let's see, I have taught third, fourth, fifth, and sixth, and I have been a teacher on special assignment for the last 7 years. So I've been working with different schools, either K6 or TK8. That's
Wow,
been a
thank
lot
you
of
so much.
fun.
And everyone on the show, you are so positive. I know because whenever we see you, you're just like cheering everyone on. You're working super hard, but you're just always super positive, and it's so contagious. So happy to have you here today. So let's go ahead and go on. So we had to throw this in because Ricardo, we keep talking about Ricardo, his subbing situation where he had to sub TK, and it was
I know.
very funny.
I know. Last week we shared this picture. I've been lucky enough to. I'm gonna say lucky because I taught high school for 24 years before this year when I've been subbing a lot, and I've been lucky, if you want to call it lucky, to go into TK rooms. And I can say that this is how it started. I call them stations. I think they're called centers. The kids call it something else. I don't even know what's going on. But at one point when I started, it looked very organized, actually, right? But this is how it's going, really. This little girl has a dinosaur head on. This little girl, I think, is Doc McStuffin. This is supposed to be 3 kids on the computer station. There's like 20 of them. I don't know what's going on here. So this has been my experience as a sub for TK.
And
so
that's why we have a special place for you. Thank you.
Elementary teachers.
Thank you. Sorry, we couldn't leave that out because it makes me laugh every time. All right, so let's go ahead and go to our next slide. So we always start with our purpose and objective. We're going to try to get through this fast because I know Shawna has a open house in a few minutes, so we're going to let you go. Because our purpose today is to reflect on the last school year as it comes to a close and appreciate our awesome teachers, all of you who are here and those of you who are watching right now. We see those numbers going up right now. So thank you no matter where you are watching from. And our objective is to take a look back at our first year in person after the pandemic and to reflect on last year and plans for the future. And Ricardo, are we doing a raffle really quickly before we go on?
We are, right? You want to tell them what they're going to win if they
really
comment?
Quickly. So we have transformational tech gear. What? I know it's true. So
our budget keeps going up and up.
I know budget increase. I don't know what's happening. We're signing autographs later. All right. So if you comment anywhere on the 7 platforms that we're on right now, you will be automatically entered just by commenting. And those of you who are here within the show, of course, you automatically get one. So,
Yay!
All right, let's go on because I want to catch some questions before Shawna leaves us. All right, everyone. So I'm going to ask a question, and if you want to answer, you can. If you don't want to, it's fine. We have plenty of questions to go around, so don't worry. So the first one is, what is something you learned or a new skill you acquired during distance learning? Because I know when we think back on distance learning, we don't think of the positive things a lot of the time because it's very frustrating. But what is something you learned about yourself, a skill, whatever? I think Yeah, Shawna wants to answer. Go ahead.
Yes, I do. Technology. Mainly because, okay, so we have a computer in the room. Our program is focused on social emotional development and learning how to interact in person and seeing facial expressions and how to solve and resolve conflict in person. Notice I keep saying in person. So then the kids they play together, a lot of play, purposeful play, a lot of hands-on materials. And then we enter into the pandemic where hello, it's all on Zoom, it's all on laptop. And how are you supposed to create an environment for children to learn on here? And I have pretty much like zero experience with technology, and so it's like an uphill, going uphill very fast, very quick. And it was extremely challenging, and I would never have survived if it wasn't for Teresa and Ricardo. That's it. I mean, I knew I was in good hands, and I didn't want to monopolize their time because I was starting at such a ground zero level, and I really needed a lot of help. So I was YouTubing and contacting people worldwide. We went global. At that time, I went global, and I was up with teachers till 2, 3 in the morning trying to figure stuff out. So then this past year, taking those technology skills, I put them back into the classroom to have my students still use Flipgrid to do homework presentations, because I found it very valuable for the students who felt safe in their home environment to be able to talk to a screen and create videos, because they would watch their mom and dad make TikTok videos. Be creative too. And so all my homework was called challenges. And I would videotape myself doing something, and then I would say, okay, now it's your turn to show us in a minute or less whatever challenge I gave them for the week to do. And it's helpful because it has increased their vocabulary, but it's given them an avenue with Flipgrid. I just keep saying I like Flipgrid. I love it. And the students who have embraced it, they have enjoyed it too. But man, oh man, learning all these devices that continuously change and evolve. Okay, this old dog is learning a lot of new tricks, and I don't have the time this year to absorb all the new tricks. And I keep feeling like I'm falling out further and further behind. There we go.
Before you say something, Teresa, Sean, I have to tell you that we were rock stars at Q conference. You for our district during distance learning had a total of 5,013
Whoa.
Flipgrid videos that your students and TK did.
Wow.
Yeah, you made us
People-
famous.
You made us famous. I have to say that because it was incredible. People were like, 5,000 videos? What? So I have to say, I just had to brag about
So
that.
that is the silver lining of, if distance learning didn't happen, would you ever have thought to do that? Would that ever have happened? We don't know, right?
No, I'll tell you no. And would I have ever thought to have created my own YouTube channel? No. And to figure out how to videos tape myself and then upload, download, and do
all that tech
this
stuff.
and that. No, I learned how to create a YouTube channel from my 5-year-old student, and he did his own channel, and his parents didn't even know he did one.
Oh.
So I learned it from my student.
Crazy.
All right. So Claudia, Kimberly, is there something that stands out to you that you want to answer this question, or do you want to move on? Something that you learned or a skill you acquired during distance learning?
Pear deck.
Oh,
that was
Yes.
good.
can I quote you? Oh my gosh. Did you hear her say that, Ricardo? She said pear deck.
I did.
Sorry, that's
Love
my
Pear
baby. Okay, continue. Tell us more.
I heard about it from Kim Metz at Workman Elementary. She showed me, we Zoomed one time, and she showed me how to use it. And I was hooked from the first minute. And even after distance learning, I use it every single day to teach my math lessons
Oh,
to
awesome.
my 2 periods of math. And I love it. The kids love it. I can go back and see what they did. And they do the reflect. And that's just like my main thing. I will never stop using Pear Deck.
That's awesome.
Wow, we need to quote that. Perfect. How about you, Kimberly?
Well, I think the thing that I was my check in, check out kids is
Mm.
how do I connect with them and give them the support that they need while they're at home raising themselves and getting themselves through school, which is what most of my kids were doing. And so I decided that academics was the back seat, and
Wow.
the support, the emotional support and the love and the care and the fun. So finding games to play, Kahoot. There was some other ones that we did, Flippities and all kinds of stuff. It just gave them a space to come and have fun and feel loved and valued. And I didn't know that I could do that on a computer. Like, I'm a huggy teacher, right? That's what I do. But yet we were able to create that space where kids were like, well, they get to go. Can I come too? I'm like, okay, bring a friend. And every Friday afternoon in particular, that was our big game afternoon. And we would have lots of kids from several different schools that just show up to have fun.
Wow. Okay. I love hearing this different points of view from different grade levels and also from the TOSA point of view. Wonderful. Thank you so much for shining a light on what you learned during distance learning. So let's go ahead and move on to the next one. What is one of your favorite memories from this school year, coming back from distance learning? One of your favorite things or memories? And I'll let Shawna go first again in case you have to disappear on us. So Shawna, go ahead. One of your favorite things or memories from this school year?
Okay, favorite things or memories. Well, having you said not to swear, right? Can't swear. Okay, having those bleeping plexiglass screens taken down and removed off the tables, so my kids could actually use the table space and then come back and use the real estate of the carpet area, so we could have school class interaction, kid fun, play again, instead of trying to teach through plexiglass, which I don't know about you guys, but you know what? I did use that plexiglass. We smeared shaving cream on it and the kids painted on it. And we learned how to write alphabet letters and numbers on the plexiglass screens, but it was not very good. I could go on and talk about how it was not good. But my favorite memory was it coming down and being able to go back to utilizing the carpet area.
Oh, that's perfect. I know a lot of teachers are nodding with you right now, for sure. Those of us here and those of us watching, for sure. How about you, Kimberly?
It's got to be the hugs.
Oh.
You know, that was one of the things that I really, really missed, because we have kids in our district that they don't get hugs at home. They come to school and that's the one place that they feel loved and valued. And to be able to give that back to them and to hug them and high five them. I mean, it started out as foot fives and stuff like that first, but now to be back to hugs, I mean, it just melts my heart. That's my favorite thing about being back at school.
I think Kimberly's trying to make me cry. She's trying to get me to cry.
Well, I'm not. It's just, that's where my heart is. You know that.
I do. As soon as Kimberly sees you, she's like, she's ready with her awesome hugs. Thank you, Kimberly. How about you, Claudia?
Definitely the relationships, just being in person with the kids. That's the main thing for me. And I always say, I'm a teacher. I build relationships and I teach math in that order, because that's definitely, I try to connect with my preteens, sixth graders, try to talk to them in a way that they feel comfortable coming to me to open up about anything that they're going through. It's a hard stage in their lives. They're growing up, they're discovering new things. So I always try to be available and just being able to be there for them and have those personal connections. That was the big thing for me.
So
Yep.
I think, in all of your answers, and just like last week, very similarly, in all your answers, it really comes down to the relationships between the kids and between us and the kids, getting rid of those glasses, being able to
Yes.
give those hugs, being able to talk to them. That was your favorite thing,
Mhm.
from this year. Wow, wonderful. Okay, we're going to go to one more. Shawna, see if you can hang around, and if not, then
Yeah,
we
because I
totally
hear them
understand.
hanging and knocking on the door saying, Mrs. Adam, let me in.
Shawna, please take care of your kids. We know open house is such a huge deal, so please, we thank you so much for being here,
Well,
and we know we will have you again. So
Yep.
thank
Good
you.
to see you, Shauna. Have fun
Okay,
tonight.
see you guys later. Oh, that's
Bye.
a good
Good luck.
question too. I like that question. But anyway, I gotta go. See you later.
Bye.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Let's see. How do I exit?
I'm just gonna laugh this whole show because it's
You
gonna be the
figured it
best.
out.
Oh my goodness. Okay, I love you guys so much. Okay, what was the most challenging thing about coming back from distance learning? What was the most challenging thing you noticed, and the most challenging thing for yourself, Claudia?
The kids, it was hard for them to come back and be in a group. Being able to have conversations, longer conversations, because they were at home for so long. It was difficult for them to be able to have a conversation with other kids and with the teacher. So a lot of them were very, very quiet at the beginning. So, of course, I had to do my silly things in the classroom to try to make them relax and open up and have fun. So, breaking that barrier, I think, for them to be able to communication was a big thing.
Mhm.
And, I think we have some non-educators or those who are not in the classroom who watch our show, and I don't think they realize that the kids not being in the classroom for so long, didn't develop or get to practice that skill of communicating. And so once they saw each other
Yeah.
again, wait,
Yeah.
what
Yeah.
do I do?
What do we say?
What do we
Right?
do? So,
Yeah.
Kimberly, from the TOSA point of view, this can be really interesting because you kind of saw the view from the outside, all these
Right.
classes. And so tell us a little bit about what made it challenging coming back from distance learning.
Well, I think a lot of what Claudia said was kids hadn't been around each other and they didn't know how to act around each other, from the
Mhm.
little ones to the middle school ones. And to get more, the older kids, we're used to having long conversations with them and academic conversations with them. And it was, short little text conversation because that's what they'd been doing for a year and a half. And so to get them to the point to gradually build on that they can have academic conversations was a real challenge. And to learn how to manage their bodies for the little ones of being, sorry, I'm on my phone, so I just know I just moved it
You're
all
fine.
crazy.
No, go for it.
Because, they hadn't been around a bunch of kids. They hadn't been at a playground playing with 100 kids on a play structure and running around. And to help them learn how to maneuver their bodies, that was really hard. For the middle school kids also, their phones. Like
Oh my
that was
gosh,
their
yes.
life, that was their lifeline for a year and a half to
Wow.
civilization.
Mhm.
And to have them put it away during class, I mean, it was an emotional challenge for them.
Yeah,
And
it
to
was.
know that they were going to be okay if they didn't use it or have it in their hand, maybe not even using it, but just having it in their hand all the time. That was a
Wow.
big adjustment for them.
Mhm.
Big adjustment.
Mhm.
I didn't even think of that, and that's so true. Wow.
It is so true.
Wow. Oh my goodness. I learn more things every time I hear from somebody's experience, but wow. Okay, so before we go on, I'm going to go ahead. We're going to go to the next one. We have some reflections we're going to throw in here from some of our teacher friends. So yes, it's beautiful reflections. Let's relax ourselves, and let's go ahead and click on the next slide. All right, so here's some reflections that
Aw.
all of our colleagues shared around. This one's from Kristen, where home classroom is ready to go for classes tomorrow. This is in August 2020, when
Wow.
everyone was trying to set up their classrooms at home.
Mhm.
this is, this is history. This is never happened. Hopefully it doesn't happen again,
Right.
but oh my goodness. Samantha, whom we love so much, back to school night last year and this year, I miss being in the classroom and being with students. So there's last year, and then back to school night during the pandemic. Look at her Bitmoji classroom. That was all of us, right? Looking back
Yep.
on it. And Delilah at the very top, she's
Oh,
amazing as well. I
yes.
missed the classroom. And this is what teachers were feeling every
Mhm.
day,
Yeah.
this new normal, which was not wonderful, and just feeling that the missing the kids. Ricardo. Mhm.
I was gonna say we had a chance to be at Wilson High School today, and as we were leaving, it was the last day for seniors, and we listened to a senior talking to her teacher, and she was saying, "I can't believe I missed a whole year of my friends and you guys and so
Wow.
on." And she was
Yeah.
reflecting, and she was sad that for she lost her whole junior year. She was glad to be back for her
Right.
senior year and being able to walk, but she was just commenting about that. It's just sad.
Yeah.
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 Okay, let's go on. So the next question, actually, you already kind of answered it, but if you want to add to, it's fine. But is what did you observe about the students during the transition? I think we kind of touched upon that too, but is there anything you wanted to add on that end?
I think we kind of covered.
We did.
Yeah, the social aspect.
Teachers tend to
And
do
Kimberly,
that.
yeah, I didn't even think about that, but yeah, definitely the phones were a big thing this year.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think something that someone had told me, especially those who watch the kids outside, is the kids don't remember what is right and wrong in school.
Oh,
They
yeah.
don't remember
Mhm.
how to interact with each other properly.
Right.
Even
Absolutely.
distance, like how close am I allowed to be with a person?
Yeah.
Simple things like that we took for granted for so long. They had to
Mhm.
relearn. They had to start
Exactly.
over. So that was wow, things that you wouldn't realize, and you're like, oh my goodness. And this is all in your hands, teachers. You had to deal with this when the students came in. So oh my goodness. Okay, let's go ahead and go to the next one. This is a good one. If you could go back knowing what you know now for this year, what would you change? If there's something you would change, is there something you would change about this year if you could go back with all the knowledge you have today? How about you, Claudia?
I think to answer that question, honestly, I think a lot of it has to do with having the right support system at school.
Mm-hmm.
And I am so lucky to be at a school with an administrator who is incredibly supportive, incredibly positive, who just made everyone who stepped onto campus feel welcomed and loved. And even though this year was probably one of the hardest years that we have ever had, it was also one of the best years that we've ever had because of her, because of the leadership that we have.
That's awesome.
And you do have an amazing administrator. Feel free to share her name with the world, because we know you and your
Dr.
whole staff.
Chavez.
Dr. Chavez. We know everyone loves her. So thank you for building that culture
Yes.
for these teachers who are coming back, because it wasn't just the kids who had to adjust, it was the teachers too.
It sure
So
is.
yeah. Okay, Kimberly, how about you? What would you change if there's anything?
Ooh. I think that at the beginning of the year, there was so much worry about academic loss that I think we jumped into academics too soon, because we were like, oh my gosh, they're a year and a half behind. They're a year and a half behind. We have to get them caught up. We have to get them caught up. Instead of spending more time on teaching them how to come back to school, how to be students again, how to interact with each other in non-academic ways, to teach them to rebuild those conversation skills that they've managed through all of it. But I think if I had to change one thing, that would be it. Like for the first 6 weeks, there's no academics. It is just hands-on, maybe from some STEAM activities. Let's talk about how we work together to build things. How do we work together to play games? How do we manage ourselves? I think that is what I would go back and change.
It's funny that you said that, because Ricardo, remember from last year's show.
Last week.
Last year.
Yeah.
Feels like a year. It was a week ago. Ricardo, what did they say last week?
Our middle school and high school teachers said exactly the same the same thing, that the time to spend with the kids, that we didn't worry about academics. We worry about those relationships. We worry about just bringing them back and letting them talk and express, themselves. Yes.
Yeah. But it was the opposite, because some of them had said, we were so afraid to push them too hard academically when they came back that we thought maybe we could have done more in that end. So it's
Gotcha.
kind of the
That's
same
interesting.
concept, but the other way around. So very, very interesting. That's really interesting. All right, so let's go ahead and go on. We have another set of reflections coming up.
All right, and I'm
And,
going to have to leave here pretty quick because I got a band concert to
I
attend
know
here.
you do. We're going to hang out with Claudia.
Oh.
We're almost
Thank you
done. I
so
know.
much.
We're going to just take a few more minutes here. Okay, so here, our next set of reflections. This is a really good one. Right here, Harpreet, she took some pictures of her class and remember that day, March 13, 2020, when you were told you had to leave and your classroom kind of stood still, frozen in time.
Right.
And when you came back, you're like, oh my goodness, you still saw the date on the board.
Right.
From when you left, everything was left exactly like it was.
Crazy.
You didn't have time to change anything. It was literally frozen in time. And I'm sure that was a really full mix of emotions. So how did, you know, when
Right.
you saw your classroom for the first time after leaving, you know, Claudia, especially you were in the classroom. What did you feel when you walked in your classroom after so long?
It was so eerie. It was very eerie to walk back in there after being gone for so long. I just stood there and I didn't even know where to start.
Right.
Yeah, it was really interesting. I had never felt it like that before.
I can't even imagine. And look at Claudia, we have your Bitmoji classroom in here, a star right there, and we see we see Miss Adams' class. I think Ricardo was at the very end of the pandemic, which was like
This is the last day of school during distance learning and her
Wow.
reflections. Yeah.
yes, amazing. Okay, let's go ahead and continue. Try to see if we can catch one more with Kimberly before she has to go. Okay, if you could go all the way back to the start of distance learning, so we're not talking about this year, we're talking about actual distance learning. If you could go back, what advice would you give to yourself or to kids or families or anybody? What advice would you give, knowing what you know now, back then in distance learning, when we were about to go to distance learning? What advice would you give to anybody, yourself, teachers, anyone? Kimberly?
It's going to be okay.
Oh,
We're going to be okay. We're going to take care of each other and we're going to get to the other side. As hard as it might be, if we lean on each other and we count on each other, we're going to be okay. That's what I would say.
Kimberly, I would have needed to hear that. There's a lot of teachers who are not sure if they were
Right.
going to be okay, and they did not
I know.
feel okay. So
Right.
I think a lot of teachers would have needed to hear that, you know, it's going to be okay. You're trying your best. We've never been here.
Right. Right.
And with your role, I know that you did that for teachers. I know you did. I know it. You don't deny it. I know it. All right, Kimberly, at any
Well,
time
on
if you have
that
to go,
note-
please, it's fine. But we're
On
going to
that
keep
note,
going.
I'm going to go listen to my band have their last performance of the year.
Oh, yay.
Thank you
Thank
so
you. Please
much.
send us some
Thank
pictures.
you so much for having me.
Thank you, Kimberly.
Bye.
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 All right, Claudia, how about you? What advice would you give yourself or to anyone
I
at the
think
beginning
give
of the
yourself some
pandemic?
grace. Give yourself some grace. Have patience. Don't try to cover everything because it's not going to happen. Just try to focus on what you can control, not the things that are out of your control.
Mm-hmm.
And be patient with yourself. Be patient with the kids, and just listen. Listen to the kids.
Ricardo, I think you and I could have had that advice, you know, to have some grace, because I know we were all just trying to stay afloat at
Yes,
that
we
point.
were.
Ricardo, how about you? I'm going to put you on the spot because, you know, you're here with us. We're teachers too, you know, just in our different roles. If you can go back to the start of distance learning, what advice would you give?
I'm going to give you the same answer I gave you last week. We get to reflect next week.
Every time I try to bring him in the conversation. Okay. Oh, Anne. Oh, we miss you so much. You know what? It's so funny. Claudia and Anne, they're so excited to see each other on the show.
Where are you?
Anne said that her advice would be to separate work and home life.
Mm-hmm.
I think she's talking to us, Teresa, which
I
is
think-
probably what I learned. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, she's talking to us. For sure. And every teacher during distance learning, because there was a lot of course, you're working from home. So, it's kind of hard to
Yes.
separate the two, and you're learning something new. So it's not like you can just take the regular amount of time. You're putting in double, triple the time. And I know
Mhm.
it's mixing a lot with your personal life, which I'm sure also took a toll during
Yeah.
that time. And I know for us too.
I
So,
heard this line a lot. Are you done? Are you done?
oh, Ricardo, did you hear that from your daughter too?
I just heard a little while ago. I came in from work, and she said, "Are you doing your show today? Am I only going to spend 10 minutes with you?" And it breaks my heart, right? But you're right. I need to do better. I do need to do
Anne is
better.
outing me right now. She said I was up till 3 a.m. most days. But you know what? The only reason why she knows that is because she was up too. So
Yes.
take that.
And and I'll put you on the spot, Teresa. What was our motto for us as we're working? And I gotta tell you.
there was a day, and we'll tell you this is part of our story too, right? When distance learning was coming about, when we were like, oh my gosh, we're going to go distance learning, we had to make the decision of, okay, are we going to do the hours that teachers are supposed to do, or are we going to do what we need to do to help the teachers? You always have that decision. We don't praise working beyond hours. We don't believe that's not a great thing to do. But at the time, we had to make the choice, and we at that time, because of the desperation of the situation, and I don't know if we're proud about it, but it's the truth. What did we decide, Ricardo?
We both
Be
decided
up until
if
3 in the morning.
if teachers are working, we're working.
That is exactly
No.
what we said. Like in quote, we said, if the
If our
teachers are
colleagues
working,
are
we're
working.
working. So we're like, if you're working at 2, we're working at 2. And from that day, we were like, okay, this is what we're going to do. And we don't say that's a great idea. You have to respect your time for your family, time for yourself. But it was what was needed at that time. And that's exactly what we said. If the teachers are working, we're working. And that's why, Anne, when you were up at 3, we were up with you.
And I know she just said camp has kept us all on our toes. We were just one toe ahead of you. Seriously.
I don't think even I was. And one of the reasons why we really wanted Anne to come on, and just like you, Claudia, she's a TK teacher, and she made Canvas work amazingly.
Yes.
They should
All the
hire her. It's a little bit
brochures she
ridiculous.
made, and she was like the
She made-
superstar.
She made guides for our
Yes.
teachers. She made guides for the Canvas community, like thousands of people who were all desperate to figure out what was going on. And she's all helping all these people, in addition with running her own class and taking care of her family. I mean, Claudia, you know Anne.
Yes.
Come on. Yeah. Oh my goodness. Okay. So anyways, we actually have, I think we only have one more question. This is perfect timing.
Mhm.
Oh no, we have 2 more questions. Claudia, we're going to put you on the spot, and I'm sorry you're left here with us, but this is the cool group. Just kidding. I didn't say that. So for you and Ricardo, I'm going to ask you the same thing. You better have an answer, okay? What advice would you give to new teachers? New teachers
Well-
coming. We asked them last week too, and we kind of laugh. We're like, really, teachers? You want to be a teacher right now? It's a little bit crazy.
I was
What
gonna say,
advice would you give?
don't do it. No.
She's
No.
joking, but honest. But go ahead.
Just kidding. Actually, my daughter just finished her student teaching, so she's
Oh.
hopefully she can start working in the fall. And this is something that I always tell her, and I always tell her, you're going to be so much better than I am, because I can already see it. They kids now are so prepared, and they have so much knowledge. Just focus on building relationships. To me, that's the biggest thing. Focus on building relationships with your students, and the discipline will fall into place, because the kids will love you, they will respect you, and they will work with you if they feel a connection with you.
Claudia, you're giving me chills, because that's the same thing our teachers said last week. And they said to new teachers,
Yeah.
their advice was work on those relationships.
Yes,
Relationships are the most important. And that's important to tell new teachers, but important to remind
Yes,
us as well. Ricardo.
for
No,
sure.
and I was gonna add, just like our teacher said last week, be flexible.
Yes.
We learn the reality of some of our students' lives, and what they deal with on an everyday basis. So besides building those relationships, also learning how to be flexible, right?
Mhm.
Because we had no idea what some of our teachers were going through. So relationships and being flexible, at least to me.
And I think we all learned that going through the teacher program, going through college, going through all our classes. Yeah, relationships are important, and they told us that. But it took such a significant event like the pandemic to realize, you know what, it was true, but so much more. Relationships are so important and so much more important than things that we usually prioritize. So yes, definitely. Thank you, Claudia. You read our minds and the minds of thousands and millions of educators out there. And Anne said relationships with kids and bonding with their families as
Yes.
well.
Yes.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you. Okay, one more question. I'm sorry, Claudia, you're on the spot, but I love it.
It's okay.
Okay, so Ricardo won't answer this one. I already tried last week. Okay, what are your plans for the future? And you can answer this in any way you want. It could be personal, it could be professional, you can answer it any way you want. What are your plans for the future?
Okay. I've been considering working on my admin credential for a couple of years. So that's something that I'm looking into, either that or getting my B class so I can teach DI. I'm not sure which way to go.
Both. Claudia,
It never stops. It never ends.
you would be an
I
amazing
always learn something new.
administrator. I'm not just saying that because, you're on our show, but you would be amazing. I think you could do all of those things and you can make
Well,
such a
and I
difference.
have great support now and amazing administrators. So I think that just encourages me even more.
Absolutely. And we would love to share our plans for the future, but Ricardo keeps telling me
Yes,
we can't
please
wait till the
do.
last episode. We have one more episode. He said to save it. I'm like,
You're
oh
leaving
my
me alone
goodness.
on this one?
I know. That's not nice.
Oh, here, hold on before you move on.
Okay.
Wait, Billy Joe's listening. Okay, I have to say something else too. I want to get more involved in our teachers union.
Did you hear that, Billy Joe? She wants to get more involved in the teachers union. I
Yeah.
love
There it is.
Oh,
I already
look at
told
That was
him
his
about it.
response right there.
So Anne said she
Real
was
time.
retiring in 5 years. Oh gosh, Anne, you're my idol right now.
What?
And she wants a sub for Wingling and travel. Please take us with you. We love our
Yes.
professions, but oh my goodness, please. I would love to go. Thank you, Anne. That's great. Okay, so we're gonna do one last set of reflections and a little bit of a surprise, maybe. Okay, so our last set of reflections today. Do you remember these things that will be in our history with us?
Oh my goodness.
Everyone knows what those are. Everyone knows what those are. Those air purifiers that are in every single classroom that are louder than everything. Oh my goodness.
That's all you hear all day long.
That's all you hear all day long. And then we have Christy Wallach. She showed some pictures of her open house over here and how wonderful it was to be back in person to do open house. I was a little sad because my daughter in her district, they still did it virtually, and I was really sad about that. But I remember a love-hate relationship with open house. But when it was done and when we were actually enjoying it, I loved it so much. And so here's one up top. It's an open house up here. I think that was from Baldwin Academy, from Kelly Brown. The kids were showing the parents how to do AR. It was amazing.
You
Kindergarten.
need to come to my classroom next year and do some of that amazing stuff.
Please invite us. That would be the highlight of our day, please. And down here, Carol Holiday. Oh my goodness, you saw all the wonderful things that she posted here. The kids' work. All the walls were like covered in kids' work. And it's not just it's not just fluff. It's really great work that the kids are doing. Oh my goodness. And over here, Kimberly, we see the amazing work that her kids were doing as well. We've been in her classroom and we love her as well. She's great.
Wonderful.
She is wonderful.
Yeah.
And Shannon over here, and she said big difference between last year's classroom, quote unquote, which was her laptop at home. And then this was the beginning of this year, looking forward to a great year. So she was happy to be back. And I think a lot of teachers were happy, they were afraid, but overall, everyone was just happy to be in person. So these are things for history. We hope we never have to go through this again. We'll be in person from now on, but these are things to look back on. Wow, we don't believe we actually did that. Billy Joe wants to know our plans. We better think of good ones now because, you have them in suspense.
Right? Yes.
We're almost done. We promise. Sorry, Claudia.
I think short term. I'm all about short term.
Oh, no, I'm all about long term. We're opposite there. All right. So we're coming to the final end of our show. And so let's go ahead and go on, Ricardo. So some last remarks. Dun, dun, dun. So we have some shout outs from either your administrator or someone you've worked with, and we want to read these whether or not they're here because these words are well deserved, and so we really want to read them. So this one is for Mrs. Adam. Okay, Mrs. Adam has been a pioneer in our TK program for Los Molinos and for other TK classes in the district. Her sense of humor and tenacity keeps
Oh.
our TK class exciting. Our students get the real deal with a sprinkle of entertainment, diversion, and a lot of laughter. It is always a great time in her class. That's from Miss Terasa. So thank you so much. And you know that to be true. If you know her, you know that to be true.
It's so true.
And she promised she would watch later to listen to the rest. So I hope she hears that. Okay, this one, I'm sorry, my quotations are in the wrong place. This is for Miss Miller. I hope you're still listening, my love. Okay, a huge shout out to Mrs. Miller, our Wing Lane TK teacher extraordinaire. Thank you for dedicating yourself to providing deep and meaningful learning experiences that both engage and challenge your students. Your passion for integrating art is inspiring. I love watching your classroom come alive with art. Thank you for all you do. Wing Lane is a blessed to have you. Oh, that's from Miss Blanton. And just so you know, those pictures, some of those pictures from Ricardo's
That's right.
subbing is actually in Miss
her class?
Miller's class.
Miss Miller, I apologize. One day and I probably ruined your kids for life. My fault.
But I'm going to tell you, sometimes you're a little bit afraid of TK, but when we went to Miss Miller's class, the kids knew exactly what to do. They knew the centers. They knew how to set them up.
I didn't know what to do. That was
it
the
was
problem.
someone else who didn't know what to do, but the kids were great. And Miss Miller was the cutest thing. She's like, "Was everything okay?" I'm like, "You're not here. You're not supposed to be checking on us."
She knew. She knew.
She knew. She's like, "Oh my goodness, am I working?" Okay, let's go on. All right, this is from Miss Morrow, who's a wonderful TOSA in our district as well. Kim is the most energetic, positive person I know. You could already tell from the show, right? Her smile is infectious, and she has a passion for teaching and helping students that is second to none. Kim finds ways to make the bad days good and can find the good out of any situation. Oh, I will cry. She's truly a gem, and I'm honored to have had the pleasure to work with her. She simply makes everyone else a better human, and that's the truth. She's one of those people who just out of nowhere just will check on you, and she's just she's one of those. All right. Who's this? This tiny print is for someone here. I don't know who it's for.
God.
And she wanted to do a video. I have to tell you that. She actually wanted to do a video for you.
Dr. Thomas was like, "You want me to do a video?" We're like, "Oh, no, it's okay."
She's the best.
She is the best, and I will second that for sure. Okay, Mrs. Diaz knows the road to educational success is not always easy. Her leadership developed as a young child when her personal educational path had many unforeseen roadblocks. And I want to know more. In college, her parents did not have enough money to pay her tuition, let alone enough money to help her commute to college. But in true form, Mrs. Diaz found a solution rather than focusing on what is not possible. She still does that today. This native West Covina girl was able to secure a job, get enough money for bus fare, and travel to Cal State Los Angeles every day using public transportation. I'm going to start
believe
crying.
she remembers all that.
Right.
I'm going to start crying, but I won't. Okay. Mrs. Diaz is an amazing educator and leader because she understands that the very human part of being a student. Underlying factors often affect a child's ability or desire to move forward and be successful. Mrs. Diaz makes it her mission every single day to take care of every student's basic needs so that they can focus on learning. Her classroom is referred to as home sweet classroom because for many of her students, it is a safe place, often safer than even being in their own home. Oh my gosh, Ricardo, you might have to finish this. Okay. It has been an absolute honor serving alongside Mrs. Diaz this year. She is a kind human, a loving mother, a nurturing teacher, and a reliable friend. Her future is bright, and I see her as an inspirational administrator. one day. Why am I crying more than you?
Oh, I love that woman so much.
You know, and to hear that from such an amazing administrator, that she sees that in you. Isn't that amazing? Okay, I'm sorry, everyone. This is going to turn into, I don't know what it's turning into, but
Cry fest.
I know, you know, this has been such a journey for our students, for our teachers, for everyone in our district and all over the world, and their parents and their families, and those who have dealt with loss, those who've dealt with so many things. And you know, and I feel like these last two episodes have been such an important episode, because you know, time will pass, things will continue to change and continue to heal, but you know, it's important to remember these things because they impact the way that we teach and the way that we take care of our kids. So we're just so thankful for the teachers who have been with us. Thank you, Claudia. Thank you for those who were able to join us today. Thank you for our friends last week, and those of you who are watching and supporting us. It means so much. And I'm going to get all sentimental. Ricardo's already giving me the eye.
I'm not.
Yes, he is. Whatever. Okay, everyone.
It's the belly. It's the baby. It's making you cry.
It's my baby. If you don't know, I'm pregnant, everybody. It makes me more emotional. That's not true. I'm so a crier. It doesn't even matter. Thank you, Billy Joe, for your continued support. You will hear more thank yous next week, I promise you. And we have one more show left, and we can't believe that we've made it every week this whole entire school year, except for I think probably Christmas or Thanksgiving.
And we have to say thank you to Claudia. I think she's watched every single episode.
Okay, I am your number one fan, I have to say.
He's not even joking. Claudia's like,
joking.
I know.
He's probably
He's
on
not even
before we are.
joking. It's true.
Oh my goodness.
And I have to thank you, both of you, because you have been an incredible source of inspiration. And well, we know, all of us at the district, all the teachers from TK to high school, we all know we can always count on both of you to help us. And just, your guys are so selfless. So, I don't even know how to describe it. You guys are just amazing, and you've been very supportive. And thank you for all the knowledge you've shared. And we are so, so grateful to have you. We're so proud to have you as amazing leaders in our district.
Go on. I'm just kidding. Claudia, your check is in the mail. Your check is in the mail. You did it. Yay. We thank you so much for those kudos, because of course, the long nights, it helps. So thank you for telling us all those things. But we also have to give credit to our team as well. We're a team of other TOSAs as well who work tirelessly alongside us. So, we have our tech team out there, our CIA team out there who are doing the same work. And so
with an
we
amazing leader as well.
Yeah. Definitely. So thank you. We cannot forget. We are two of a big family. So thank you so much. All right, Ricardo, are we ready? Because I need to get tissue and blow my nose now.
Are we doing a raffle? Is that what we're going now?
Oh yes, our gear.
Some gear.
Transformational.
I don't even have that gear yet. Hopefully, it's
no, you don't get any. You don't get one. Whatever.
Here it goes. Ready?
All right. Let's see.
There's one.
Let's pull two today, because we have our guest to give it to. If the same winners win from last week, I'm just gonna laugh. Okay. Oh, Maria! Congratulations, Maria. We're gonna send you some swag. So we're gonna find you and make sure we have your address. All right, one more.
And let's do one more.
We need music when we do this. I'm just saying.
Yes.
Think about it for next year. And you know what? And she's already going to get one, because she was going to be a guest, and she was on the chat very actively. So she's already going to get one. Ricardo, we have to do one more. I'm sorry. Congratulations, Anne. You're getting one anyways, because you were on the show.
Here it goes.
Leslie.
Claudia's got some favorites.
And Billy wants us to do it again, so we're going to do it again.
We're going to do it again, because we know Billy's going to say, pass it on. Spoils our fun. We're almost done, everyone. We promise.
Oh, he might want the swag though, but he's getting swag anyways.
Brian's gonna say the same thing. Brian is us with our CTA. He's not gonna. Oh, you know what? They might want the swag.
Mhm. Yeah, I think so. I agree.
You know what? Brian and Billy, you're going to give you some swag. So you're winners today. Thank you so much. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for your patience and thank you for the heart to heart with us. We love you all so much. We will be with you one last time this year. Next week, we will see you then. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.